Hey everyone, good evening and welcome to a brand new episode of Pressing Matters. I'm your host, Daniel Torres. Welcome into episode number 12. And actually, in big news, this is actually the final episode of 2025 for us here at the Plug Talk Sports Network. Our last show will be the Plug Talk Sports live show this upcoming Monday at 10 p.m. And then we'll have a little bit of a break. I've said this on Pressing Matters before, and of course on the Plug Talk Sports live show. But we'll have a little bit of break so we can enjoy time with our families, enjoy Christmas, and enjoy New Year's. And then once 2026 begins, the new year arrives, January is here, we'll hit the ground running and back to normal scheduled programming. But for myself here in Pressing Matters, this is episode 12 again, last episode of the year until 2026. And as well as for all of our shows on the Plug Talk Sports Network. And again, reiterate, this upcoming Monday is our last show on the network for 2025. And we're going to take a small break. But anyways, here we are. Last episode, talk some soccer before we head into 2026, which is a World Cup year. But we are not going to talk about the World Cup. We're going to talk about, first on our agenda of Pressing Matters, is the title race between Arsenal and Liverpool in the English Premier League. Now, when you talk about this title race, Arsenal last year had a chance to come away with the title, but kind of fumbled. And I know people will say that Arsenal is known for that. And if you're an Arsenal fan, well, you really don't win much of anything, which is, I'm not going to lie, it is kind of true. Arsenal does choke a lot. But this year, I mean, they're looking, I don't want to jinx it, but this year they're looking kind of strong. I think Mikel Arteta has Arsenal very disciplined. I think they have learned from their mistakes from last year. They have one of the best defensive records in the league, to be honest with you. And obviously, Odegaard, Saka, Saliba, just that entire squad over there. Declan Rice was a huge addition to Arsenal when he joined the club. Obviously, we saw what they did to Real Madrid last year in the Champions League. Honestly, they are a good team to be able to win the Premier League. They are a good team in contention to win the Champions League. And I think over the last couple of years, we've been saying it, Arsenal has been putting the pieces together to put a competitive team together that can win not only the Premier League, but can go on to win Europe. And the problem for this club has been almost like the Dallas Cowboys, right? The Dallas Cowboys of England, is that they don't win. They don't get over the finish line. You know, they start off the season hot. They carry it through midseason, and something always happens, and they always fumble it. So this year, and again, I knock on wood, they look like they're the team that's going to come across that finish line and get it done. Then you look at Liverpool, right? Late goals, comebacks, Anfield, obviously one of the hardest places and best places to play. Technically, regarding whoever you are, you could say it best place or toughest place to play at. Liverpool has gone through a lot this year, especially with the whole saga with Mo Salah. Is he going? Is he staying? His interview and his remarks about the club and the coach to the media. I don't know. Can they repeat as Premier League champions? They ended a nice run for Manchester City. who, by the way, is kind of creeping up now back into things in the Champions League and in the Premier League, getting kind of back into a run of form. But for Liverpool, they lose Trent Alexander-Arnold. They had this whole thing with Mo Salah. Is there a way back for this Liverpool team to repeat as champions in the league? I mean, when you look at the two teams, Arsenal's winning games, with structure, maturity, control, and Liverpool, is winning off of belief, but with chaos as well. And it's remarkable when a team wins like that, but often the case, it's not sustainable. Arsenal has also been able to avoid draws. Liverpool has, with the late winners that I just mentioned, kept pressure. So there's been small margins that have mattered. Arsenal, again, no longer rebuilding. They have learned from their mistakes from last season. Liverpool, defending champions, kind of I want to say in a transition phase. They can still get it done. So the question becomes, who's actually playing better football right now? Would you rather be Arsenal's consistency or Liverpool's mentality? And which team do you trust more in the final 5 games? So let's start with that question. Final 5 games, let's take a look at it. I'm going to bring it up here, the stats. Let's go English Premier League. We go standings. So Arsenal's in first, 36 points. Liverpool's in 7th, 26 points. So 10 points behind. And the reason why this is title race between Arsenal and Liverpool is because Liverpool is the defending champions. And the aspect of, can they come back and can they do this? Let's look at the last 5 games. So on the 3rd, 1-1 draw for Liverpool against Sunderland. We'll get into that a little later on Sunderland. Then they go off, play Leeds United, 3-3 draw for Liverpool. Then they're in the Champions League. This was a surprise result. 1-0 for Liverpool over Inter Milan, which, I'm going to be honest with you, Liverpool has now beaten Inter Milan. They've been Real Madrid in the Champions League. They're doing better from what we see in the Champions League than they are performing in the Premier League. Then they grabbed a 2-0 victory over Brighton. Their next 2 games to end 2025 is against Tottenham this Saturday and then against Wolverhampton next Saturday. So that's where they stand. Let's take a look at Arsenal. So for Arsenal, we are going to have, they had a 1-1 draw to Chelsea in that rivalry game, then a 2-0 win over Brentford. They had a 2-1 loss to Aston Villa. Then we go to the Champions League, and they had a 3-0 victory over Club Brugge. And then their latest game over Wolverhampton, a 2-1 victory. And this Saturday, they play Everton. Then they have a quarterfinals matchup against Crystal Palace. Then they play Brighton. And then on the 30th of December, to close out 2025, they'll be playing Aston Villa. So you asked me, those were their 5 games. Right now, question, would you rather be Arsenal's consistency or Liverpool's mentality? Look, I often think that mentality is everything when it comes to not only football, but sports. But consistency says a lot too. I'm going to have to go with Arsenal right now. Even though, yes, the last 2 games have been positive for Liverpool, I just think that Arsenal is a very, very strong squad right now. And they have momentum, but they've been consistent in that momentum all season long so far. So I'm going to have to go with Arsenal. And playing better football, I mean, kind of just answered within itself. I got to go with Arsenal. I think Arsenal's the better team. I think they're better coached right now. Obviously, Arsenal's not having drama off field. That could be a distraction. And I think that Arsenal is in a prime spot to win Champions League and to win Premier League. Now, again, granted, that's not a prediction. I'm just saying that they have a opportunity if they keep playing like this to do it. So I'm going to go with Arsenal in this title race. I think Liverpool is now going to get back into this race. I don't think Liverpool is going to repeat as champions of the Premier League. And if Arsenal doesn't win it, I mean, someone else other than Liverpool will win it. But I think Arsenal has a good chance. So there's two games we got to talk about. We got to talk about Real Madrid here. They go on the road at the weekend. They play Deportivo Alavés. Barely get away with a victory there on the road. Then, yesterday, Copa del Rey, on the road, round of 32, Talavera de Reina, which, I kid you not, Real Madrid was playing in a stadium that I can't even describe it to you. It looked like it was a shack. And was the biggest match in Talavera's history to have Real Madrid there. You had Mbappe on the field. Endrick, Dienhausen. I mean, you had a lot of stars on the field. Bellingham got subbed into the game. Rodrigo was on the field. But first, let's talk about that Depor game, Real against Alaves. And I'll tell you guys right now, something is wrong. I don't know what it is, but something is wrong. You know, it was Mbappe. Mbappe can't look. He's on the verge of history, of surpassing Cristiano Ronaldo. But he can't. Just relying on him way too much. They're literally relying on him to do everything, to score. I mean, if he doesn't score, who does? Yeah, you can say, oh, Rodrigo scored. Okay, yeah, it's the first time Rodrigo has scored, and I can't even remember how long. It's been a long streak of scoreless games for Rodrigo. Mbappe in the 24th. Carlos Vicente in the 68th, because we obviously have a damaged back line. They're all injured and some suspensions. Carlos Vicente in the 68th blows by an academy product, a youth product for Madrid, and levels the game 1-1. And this is the 68th minute, I was on the verge of, I can't even tell you guys, I was on the verge of just an anger attack of what the hell is going on with this team. Rodrigo saves our skin in the 76th minute to put the team up 2-1 and hold on to that victory. And we really needed it because Barcelona had won. So we keep things at 4 points. And then we move on to that Copa del Rey game that I was speaking to you guys about in the round of 32. Madrid against Talavera. Guys, the 3 goals that Madrid scored in this match, a penalty, an own goal, and a shot that was deflected off of the keeper's hands and it just fell in. Not impressive. Not impressive at all. And they let Talavera de la Reina score 2 goals and make this a match and put pressure on Madrid, having to keep Mbappe in the game full 90, having to bring in Jude Bellingham to this match, who, by the way, made stupid foul. It was a free kick and pretty much caused one of the goals for Talavera de la Reina. This is you're literally battling to the death against a team that's in the 3rd division of Spain, about to drop to the 4th division. That is where we're at right now with Real Madrid. And it would have been, let me tell you, it would have been a tied match if it wasn't for Adley Lunin. If Lunin did not make a huge, incredibly huge save, this game would have been going to penalties between Talavera and Real Madrid. Endrick's going on loan to Olympique Lyon. I don't think this is an appropriate time to let go of him and let him go on loan. Because we ourselves are not in the best of shape or the best of period right now. We need all the help we can get. And he performed well. He performed well against Talavera, had some phenomenal passes, was dangerous, had the speed. So I don't think that they should be shipping out anybody right now. I don't think Endrick should be going to Lyon. You know, day before yesterday, people were talking about, oh, Barcelona only won their Copa del Rey match 2-0. Well, at least they did not allow the team that they played to score 2 goals and make it a close match. Real Madrid just came in and said, oh, hold your beer. We'll make it more interesting than Barcelona. We'll bring this to a 3-2 match against a third, almost fourth division team. It's absolutely ridiculous. And at this point, I don't know who to blame. You know, many people blame Xabi Alonso. Many people blame the players. I don't know. I really don't know. You have the talent on the field. But it's like it looks like it's whatever to them. I just don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, it could be a mix of things, but I tell you what, it's ever since this team won El Clásico against Barcelona, things have never been the same. They started out the season great, despite the one loss to Atletico. Started off the season great. You know, they had the criticism from last year that they could not beat Barcelona. Lost 5 times to them. They come in this season, they get it done. The first Clásico of the year, they get it done. From there on out, it's been a disaster. It's been an absolute mess. And I don't know what's going to happen, because if they continue to play this way, maybe the short holiday break is going to help them. Who knows? But if they continue to play this way, you can forget about La Liga. You can forget about Champions League. You can forget about Supercopa de España, because you have to play in the Supercopa Atletico. And at this point, the way we're playing, Atletico is going to thrash us again. Put 5 goals on the board. La Liga, I mean, you can't even beat a third division team in Spain. We're going to struggle against the first division teams in La Liga. We have a 5-point lead on Barcelona after the Clásico, and now we're behind Barcelona 4 points. Copa del Rey, you literally just saw we struggled against a third division team. You can kiss that goodbye. It only gets harder as the rounds go on. I don't think Xabi Alonso is out of the woods yet. Do I want him to get fired? No. I do think that Xabi Alonso is a great coach. I think this is a squad that's going through a transformative period after having Carlo Ancelotti, Zinedine Zidane, and then Carlo Ancelotti again. I think this is an adaptive period for this club, for this squad. And they have fresh blood in here with Xabi Alonso, who's trying to implement, his style, his tactics, his ways. Maybe it's rubbed some players the wrong way, because they're so used to a certain way, a certain style. But I don't know. I don't think that he should be fired right off the bat, because I still don't think there's any solution to firing him. I don't think, all right, let's fire him. I don't think there's a solution out there. If you're going to fire him, let it be at the end of the year. Let him see out this year. There's still a lot of soccer to be played. I think that things can turn around, but they don't look bright right now with the performances that this team is giving. Obviously, it feels like there's no will, there's no leadership there. I mean, We look at Real Madrid squads in the past: Luka Modric, Toni Kroos as a recent. Before that, Sergio Ramos. I don't think that we have someone in the current team who's like one of those guys. I just don't see it. And I think that in this locker room and for this team specifically, we need somebody like that. It's evident that it is needed. And I just don't see it. And it's scary because I think that if, again, we continue like this, we're going to have some really, really bad, ugly results. But with that, that's our pressing matter on Real Madrid. And we're going to get into some MLS roster moves. So, former Inter Miami man, Lewis Morgan, who is with the New York Red Bulls, actually made MLS Cup final with the New York Red Bulls. Unfortunately, lost to Los Angeles Galaxy. He is heading to San Diego FC. So, San Diego FC, who had a fantastic inaugural year, almost made it to the MLS Cup final. They add him. Obviously, the big Miami right off the bat. Miami has been making some noise in this offseason right off the bat, and they're showing that they want to compete for 2026. They want to compete for that CONCACAF Champions Cup, Leagues Cup, MLS Cup again. They're making moves. So a lot of people, they let go of Rocco Rios Novo. People were like, oh, I liked him. He was good. And obviously, Chelo Wengat is gone. Fafa Picot is gone. They just re-signed. Here's another one. They just re-signed Luis Suarez to a 1-year deal. It will be interesting to see the kind of role he has with the team for next season. We kind of saw towards the end of the year and in the playoffs with suspensions and just Javier Mascherano's decision to keep him on the bench, that worked for Inter Miami. So I don't think that his role, as we had Franco Panizo on here, I don't think that his starting spot is guaranteed. I think that he's going to have to work for it, and he might, just in his last year, he might just be coming off the bench. Depends what happens with Tadeo Allende, who is supposed to go back to Celta Vigo in Spain. They're still working that out. I think that he is a huge, huge piece to this team. I think he is the reason why they succeeded so well in the MLS playoffs and ended up winning MLS Cup was his run of form. So if I'm Inter Miami, that's a player that I would want to bring back to this project. Other than that, you think of it, they have Silvetti, who worked very well with Allende and with Messi. But I would still want to keep Allende part of this project. The big moves. Dane Sinclair, Canadian international. He's probably going to the World Cup for Canada. Minnesota United just won goalkeeper of the year. You ask why they got rid of Rocco Rios Novo? Well, they're bringing the MLS goalkeeper of the year to Inter Miami, and that is a very, very, very strong move. I think that is a move. I've been critical, obviously, of the club with some of the moves that they make, but this is a phenomenal move for them. It's a position where they've kind of struggled with, obviously, after letting go of Drake Callender. It's a position where, they haven't been so secure. Obviously, we've been through so many goalkeepers throughout the year, but this is a phenomenal, phenomenal move for now the defending champions, Inter Miami. And then obviously you bring in, you lose Busquets and you lose Jordi Alba. You bring in Sergio Reguilon, who is a Spanish international. He is a Real Madrid product out of Tottenham, his most recent club. He's still got some youth to him. So I think that's another strong move for Inter Miami. Those are two moves I like. And then obviously they secure the re-signing off of the loan of Rodrigo de Paul, who had an important goal in the MLS Cup final. I know a lot of people, including myself, have been critical of his performance and his antics throughout the season, having arrived to Miami. But hey, he had a very, very crucial goal for this club, and he's back, and they gave him a big, big bag of cash for that. Looking at other areas for Inter Miami, they're in negotiations with two other loanees. That is midfielder Baltasar Rodriguez. And then, obviously, like I just said, Alba and Busquets are gone. Ryan Saylor is gone as well. And then in discussions is still Allende, Alan Owando, Baltasar Rodriguez, and then they just re-signed Luis Suarez, and then Dane St. Clair joins the team. And there's still some more news of a goalkeeper out of Argentina and another player out of Argentina that might be joining Javier Mascherano's squad for 2026. So we'll stay tuned for that. This one's a managerial decision. Wilfred Nancy leaves the Columbus Crew, who successfully did well with the Columbus Crew, and he joins up with Celtic in Scotland, and he might be coming to back to MLS because his time in Celtic is not going too well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Wilfred Nancy and Celtic. Another move. So we just talked about Ryan Saylor. He is heading to the Seattle Sounders. The Sounders are going to pick him up. He's a University of Washington product. So he is going back to that area. And then the MLS Super Draft, which is actually currently happening as you're watching this. Of course, Inter Miami is in that, and they'll be making their picks. But that's all the news I have out of Inter Miami and MLS roster rules of what they got going on right now. But you can expect, as you can see, that they are in a strong position for 2026 and are really out in front of everybody in the league since the offseason has began. And so this is going to take us to our team of the week. So our team of the week, we actually have two. A team that nobody is talking about, and I want to talk about them, is Sunderland. Sunderland, if you guys have not seen the Netflix show, it's Sunderland Till I Die on Netflix. Go check it out. It talks about how they fell to, I believe, fourth division in English football, and they were a Premier League historic storied team, what have you. And now look at them. They have climbed, and it's just amazing to see because I saw the show, and I've seen when they were in their depths of struggle, and I've seen them now climb all the way back to the Premier League, to the first division, and they're doing very, very well. This squad is competing. They are in the top 10 of the English Premier League. I think the best that they have gotten was all the way to third so far this season in the table. And so that's one team that I want to talk about as our team of the week. And for St. Mirren defeats Celtic, I believe, for the first time in X amount of years. It's been a long time. It was a huge, and when we talk huge upset. Sorry, my man Brian Rose in my master's program, who is actually on the board of Celtic. Sorry for the loss, but sometimes we got to see the underdogs win. St. Mirren defeats Celtic, and that is why those two teams are our teams of the week. Well, everyone, we have come to a close in episode 12. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. I hope that every single one of you have a Merry, Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. And we thank you guys from not only myself, but for Plug Talk Sports guys, Brandon, Jonka, Blake, we appreciate, and Isaac as well. We appreciate, all of the support that you guys give us in the Plug Talk Sports networks and all of our shows every week. We appreciate everything and all the support that you've given us, the love that you've given us throughout 2025. Pressing Matters episode 13 will be back in January of 2026. Stay safe, guys. Enjoy the holidays. Don't eat too much. Don't drink too much. And I just ask for blessings for you and for your family, guys. Happy 2026. Happy New Year. And we'll see you guys when we start a World Cup year.